Hi, I'm Greg Hunter, and this is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, June 1st, 2012. The EU is the big story, and it is a colossal, gigantic, big mess. You have Greece on life support. You have Spain interest rates rising. Spanish banks over there are in trouble. They need another bailout. You've got folks in the European Union who want the European Central Bank to directly help banks by printing money. This is more than a sovereign debt crisis. This is a bank solvency crisis, really at the heart of it all. And they want the powers that be over there, some of them anyway, want the ECB to print money and hand it out. That's against their charter, incidentally. They also want the idea of euro bonds. They don't want bonds in Greece or Italy or Spain, all these countries in trouble. They want to spread out the debt to the entire European Union. Well, the big holdup on both money printing and euro bonds is Germany. Money printing, they had a bout of that in hyperinflation in the early 20s, and things got so bad over there that basically their terrible economy produced Hitler. I mean, Hitler came along, and things were so bad, they thought his ideas were pretty good. Of course, we all know how that worked out. As far as the euro bonds, I mean, if you're the economic engine of the eurozone, Germany, do you want your productivity to be spread all over the eurozone to the pig countries and the people that don't want any austerity? For Angela Merkel, that is a non-starter. She will be voted, out of office faster than you can say Achtung. Of course she's going to fight that. Of course the German people are going to fight that. But who knows how it's going to all shake out in the Eurozone. My bet is it's going to end badly for 99% of the people over there. Meanwhile, over here in the U.S., the dollar and the Treasury bond is being viewed as some sort of safe haven. And I say it's the cleanest dirty shirt in the clothes hamper. 10-year Treasury notes went down at or near record lows, 60-year lows, down to 1.62, 1.65%. I ask you, would you loan the federal government money for 10 years and expect to get anywhere near your buying power back at the end of a decade? I say no. You got to be crazy. This is nothing more than a short-term play. When all this gets wrapped up in Europe, and it will come to some sort of resolution, and I say probably an ugly one, and we might have inflation and deflation, or massive inflation and big deflation all at the same time. I don't know how they can keep all this together, but at any rate, when the European situation comes to some sort of conclusion or gets close to a conclusion, the big white hot spotlight is going to be shined right on the United States of America. It's going to be shining right on the good old U.S. of A. And, everybody kind of glosses over the fact that the Fed bought more than 60% of the Treasury debt in 2011, according to the Wall Street Journal, that our real, generally accepted accounting principles gap estimates for our real deficit is close to $5 trillion annually, not $1.3 trillion. The U.S. is a mess. We're not as bad as Greece, but we're far worse than Spain. What are their interest rates? 7%? What would happen if interest rates here in the U.S. went to 7%? We'd be in free fall. How are they going to get out of this? Can they just print money to infinity? Will the dollar retain its world reserve currency status? I think not. I think it will lose it sooner than later. Mitt Romney became the GOP nominee officially, and I say not much difference between Romney and Obama, even though the Republicans say there's a big difference. It's just, different cronies taking turns ripping off, the American people every 4 years, or every 2 years if you count the House. The other big story I want to talk about is John Edwards. I live close by to where John Edwards is being tried in federal court in Greensboro. Went down there a couple days ago, and you should see the amount of resources, the networks, cable, local TV, all poured into this. Just unbelievable amount of satellite trucks and live shots and reporters, and must have been millions of dollars in technology and salaries down there, millions of dollars. John Edwards was acquitted of one charge and mistrialed on 5 other charges. Now, what's he accused of? He was accused of basically misappropriating campaign money, about $1 million. Yes, He is a gigantic weasel. He cheated on his wife who had cancer. Yes, he had a love child with Ryle Hunter. Yes, of course, yes. He's a weasel. But, I mean, a federal prosecution for, what, $1 million on a guy that didn't have a ghost of a chance of winning the presidency? I don't even know if anybody was even going to bring him on as a number two. $1 million, and not a single prosecution of elite bankers for trillions of dollars in lost value to homes. There was in the robo-signing, which is totally misnamed, was really forgery and perjury and fraud. And, the ratings of these AAA bonds, they were, mortgage debt was rated AAA, and the Fed had to buy trillions of dollars of this junk, this toxic stuff. One bank had $200 billion either taken off their books or forgiven for possible buybacks. Bank of America in 2011, not a single elite banker even charged or prosecuted for the financial meltdown in 2008, and they're going after John Edwards? Unbelievable. I'm glad he got off, frankly, because, what happened in 2008 leading up to it makes John Edwards look like a choir boy, really. And just to give you some context here, after the savings and loan crisis, which is 70 times smaller, according to William Black, who's a professor of economics and law and a former bank regulator in that era, William Black, he says that, 1,000 financial elites were successfully prosecuted back in the 90s after the fallout for the savings and loan crisis. And how many were successfully prosecuted? How many were even charged? That'd be a zero. And they're having a big, a couple of month prosecution of John Edwards. Unbelievable. I kid you not. Well, that's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for supporting USAWatchdog.com.